Before praying, let us read Psalm 94. O Lord, the God of vengeance, O God of vengeance, shine forth, rise up, O Judge of the earth, repay to the proud what they deserve. O Lord, how long shall the wicked exult? They pour out their arrogant words. All the evildoers boast. They crush your people, O Lord, and afflict your heritage. They kill the widow and the sojourner, and murder the fatherless, and they say, the Lord does not see, the God of Jacob does not perceive. Understand, O dullest of the people. Fools, when will you be wise? He who planted the ear, does he not hear? He who formed the eye, does he not see? He who disciplines the nations, does he not rebuke? He who teaches man knowledge, the Lord knows the thoughts of man, that they are but a breath. Blessed is the man whom you discipline, O Lord, and whom you teach out of your law, to give him rest from days of trouble, until a pit is dug for the wicked. For the Lord will not forsake his people, he will not abandon his heritage, for justice will return to the righteous, and all the upright in heart will follow it. Who rises up for me against the wicked? Who stands up for me against evildoers? If the Lord had not been my help, my soul would soon have lived in the land of silence. When I thought, my foot slips, your steadfast love, O Lord, held me up. When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul. Can wicked rulers be allied with you? Those who frame injustice by statute. They band together against the life of the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. But the Lord has become my stronghold, and my God the rock of my refuge. He will bring back on them their iniquity and wipe them out for their wickedness. The Lord our God will wipe them out. There is a quiet honesty in this psalm that feels deeply human. It does not hide pain or confusion, but gently lays it before God. The writer sees injustice clearly, people suffering, the vulnerable being crushed, and the wicked seeming to thrive without consequence. Yet instead of turning to bitterness, the heart turns upward. There is a sacred trust hidden in these words, a belief that even when the world feels unbalanced, God is neither blind nor silent. This kind of faith is not loud or forceful. It is steady, like a soft light that refuses to go out. As we sit with these words, we may recognize our own questions within them. How long, Lord? Why does injustice linger? Why do the proud seem unshaken? These questions are not signs of weak faith. They are invitations into deeper relationship. God does not reject our wondering hearts. Instead, he meets us in them. The psalm reminds us that the one who created the ear hears every cry, and the one who formed the eye sees every hidden tear. Nothing escapes his awareness, and nothing is forgotten in his timing. There is also a gentle shift that happens as the psalm unfolds. What begins as a cry against injustice slowly becomes a quiet confidence in God's character. The writer remembers that God disciplines, teaches, and restores. Even in hardship, there is purpose not to harm, but to shape, to steady, and to draw the heart closer to him. The Lord becomes not only judge, but refuge, not only righteous, but near. And in that nearness, the soul finds rest, even before circumstances change. There are moments in life when injustice does not just appear distant, but deeply personal. It may come in the form of being misunderstood, overlooked, or even wronged without explanation. In those quiet struggles, the heart can grow weary, wondering if fairness will ever return. Yet Psalm 94 gently reminds us that delay is not absence. God's justice is never rushed, but it is also never forgotten. His timing, though often mysterious, carries a wisdom far beyond what we can immediately see. The psalmist speaks of God as one who teaches and disciplines, and this can feel difficult to embrace at first. Discipline is rarely comfortable, and waiting is rarely easy. But within this process, there is a hidden tenderness. God is not shaping us out of harshness, but out of love. He refines the heart so that it can stand steady even when circumstances feel unstable, like a tree growing deeper roots during a storm. The soul is strengthened in ways that are not always visible on the surface. There is also a quiet reassurance in knowing that God sees what others overlook. Every silent tear, every unspoken burden, every moment of endurance, none of it is wasted. The world may move on quickly, but God does not. He lingers where we hurt. He stays where we feel abandoned. And in that staying, there is comfort that cannot be easily explained, only gently experienced. Sometimes, we may be tempted to measure justice by immediate outcomes. We look for visible change, quick answers, or clear resolutions. But this psalm invites us to shift our perspective. True justice is not only about what happens outwardly, but also about what is being formed inwardly. A heart that continues to trust, even when answers are delayed, becomes a place where God's peace can dwell more fully. As we reflect on this, we begin to understand that God's presence is itself a form of protection. He becomes our stronghold, not just in moments of victory, but in seasons of waiting. When everything feels uncertain, His nearness becomes the most certain thing we have. And in that nearness, the soul finds a quiet kind of rest, one that does not depend on circumstances changing right away. So if your heart feels heavy today, know that you are not unseen. If justice feels far away, know that God is still at work in ways you may not yet recognize. And if you feel tired from waiting, remember that you are being held gently and faithfully by a God who does not forget, does not overlook, and does not abandon. In the stillness of this moment, we turn our hearts gently toward God, carrying both our questions and our quiet hopes. Lord, you see the weight that rests within us, the burdens we rarely speak aloud, the moments when justice feels distant, and the silent longing for things to be made right. We do not come with perfect words, but with open hearts. You are the one who understands even what we cannot fully express. Teach us to rest in your presence, even when answers seem delayed. Help us to trust that your justice is not absent, only unfolding in ways beyond our understanding. Father, we softly declare that you are our refuge and our strength. When our thoughts grow heavy and our spirits feel tired, remind us that we are not alone. You hold us steady when our footing feels uncertain. You lift us when discouragement tries to settle in. Let your truth gently replace our fear, and let your peace settle deeply within our hearts. We choose to believe that you are working, even now, in places we cannot see. We choose to believe that every injustice will be answered in your perfect time. Strengthen our faith so that it does not depend on what is visible, but on who. You are faithful, just, and full of compassion. Lord, we also lift up those who are suffering more deeply than we are, the oppressed, the forgotten, the ones whose voices seem unheard. Surround them with your comfort. Be their defender, their shelter, and their hope. Where there is pain, bring healing. Where there is dhulm, bring restoration. And where hearts are losing strength, breathe new life. Use us, in whatever small ways we can, to reflect your kindness and your justice in this world. We rest now in your presence, trusting that you are near. Even in waiting, even in uncertainty, you remain our stronghold, and in you we find a quiet, unshakable peace. There are days when the soul feels unsteady, as if the ground beneath us is quietly shifting. We try to remain strong, to hold ourselves together, yet something within begins to tremble. It may not always be visible to others, but deep inside, there is a quiet struggle, a longing for stability, for reassurance, for something that will not move when everything else seems uncertain. In these moments, Psalm 94 offers a gentle reminder. When I thought, my foot slips, your steadfast love, O Lord, held me up. This is not a loud or dramatic rescue, but a soft, steady support that meets us right where we are. God's help does not always come in the way we expect. Sometimes we look for sudden change or immediate relief, but instead, He offers something quieter, His presence. And in that presence, there is a strength that does not depend on circumstances. It is a strength that holds, even when we feel like we cannot hold ourselves. The psalmist does not say that he never stumbled, but that he was not left to fall completely. This is the quiet grace of God, not always removing the struggle but sustaining us through it. As we reflect on this, we begin to see that God's love is not distant or detached. It is deeply attentive. He notices the moment our thoughts begin to spiral, the moment discouragement tries to take root. And before we are fully overwhelmed, His care reaches us. It may come through a small sense of peace, a comforting word, or simply the ability to take one more step forward. These are not insignificant things, they are signs that we are being held. There is also something deeply comforting in knowing that God does not grow tired of supporting us. Human strength can fade, and even the strongest hearts can feel weary. But God's steadfast love does not weaken. It remains constant, patient, and faithful. He does not pull away when we struggle. He draws closer. He does not measure our worth by our ability to stand firm. He meets us in our weakness and becomes our strength. Sometimes, we may feel discouraged by how often we need that support. We may wish we were stronger, more resilient, less affected by the challenges around us. But God does not ask us to be unshakable on our own. Instead, He invites us to lean on Him. There is no shame in needing His help, only quiet grace in receiving it. Each moment of dependence becomes an opportunity to experience His faithfulness more deeply. And so, when your heart feels uncertain, when your footing feels unsure, remember that you are not standing alone. Even if you cannot feel it clearly, His love is beneath you, steady and sure. He is holding you in ways you may not fully understand, but that you can gently trust. You are supported, even now. There are moments when the noise is not around us, but within us. Thoughts begin to gather, one after another, until the heart feels crowded and restless. Worries speak softly at first, then grow louder, until peace feels distant and difficult to reach. In Psalm 94, we are given a tender image of this inner struggle. When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul. It is a quiet acknowledgement that even the most faithful hearts can feel overwhelmed. Yet it is also a gentle promise that God meets us not only in outward trouble, but in the hidden places of the mind and heart. God's comfort is not rushed. It does not force its way into our thoughts, nor does it silence every worry all at once. Instead, it comes gently, like a soft light entering a dim room. His consolations are often subtle, small reminders of truth, quiet reassurances that we are not alone, moments where our breathing slows and our hearts begin to settle. These are not coincidences. They are the touch of a God who understands the weight of human thoughts and chooses to meet us there with kindness. Sometimes, we may feel ashamed of our anxious thoughts, as if they reveal a lack of faith. But this psalm shows us something different. It shows us that bringing our crowded thoughts to God is itself an act of faith. We do not need to hide what we feel or pretend to be at peace when we are not. God does not turn away from a troubled mind. Instead, He draws near to it. He listens patiently, without judgment, and offers comfort that is both gentle and real. There is also a quiet transformation that happens when we allow God to enter our thoughts. The worries may not disappear immediately, but they begin to lose their weight. What once felt overwhelming becomes more manageable, not because the situation has changed, but because we are no longer carrying it alone. God's presence does not always remove the storm, but it calms the heart within it. And that calm is a gift that cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. As we reflect on this, we are invited to slow down, to pause, even briefly, and become aware of what is happening within us. What thoughts are we carrying today? What worries have quietly taken hold of our hearts? Instead of pushing them aside, we can gently bring them before God. We can say, "Lord, these are the things weighing on me," and trust that He will meet us there with compassion. And in that meeting, something beautiful begins to unfold. The heart, once heavy, begins to feel lighter. The mind, once crowded, begins to find space, not because everything has been solved, but because we have been comforted. God's consolations do not always come with answers, but they always come with presence. And in that presence, there is a deep and quiet peace. So if your thoughts feel overwhelming today, do not be discouraged. You are not alone in this experience. And more importantly, you are not alone in it now. God is near, gently offering comfort to your soul, one quiet moment at a time. There is something deeply unsettling about living in a world where wrong can appear to prevail. Systems may fail, people may disappoint, and justice may seem delayed or even denied. In such moments, the heart searches for something steady, something that does not shift with circumstances or crumble under pressure. Psalm 94 gently leads us to that place of stability by reminding us, "The Lord has become my stronghold, and my God, the rock of my refuge." These words are not spoken from a place of ease, but from within struggle. And perhaps that is what makes them so comforting. They are true even in difficulty. A stronghold is not simply a place of escape. It is a place of protection. It does not remove us from reality, but shelters us within it. When the psalmist calls God his stronghold, he is expressing a deep trust that even when everything around him feels uncertain, there is still one place that remains unshaken. God does not promise a life free from hardship, but he offers himself as a refuge within it. And that refuge is not fragile, it is firm, enduring, and faithful. Sometimes, we may try to build our own sense of security. We look to plans, people, or outcomes to give us peace. But when those things shift, as they often do, we are reminded of how limited they truly are. This is not meant to discourage us, but to gently redirect us. True refuge is not found in what can change, but in who does not change. God's character remains steady, his justice is sure, his love is constant, and his presence is unwavering. There is also a quiet invitation in this truth. We are invited not just to believe that God is a refuge, but to enter into that refuge. This means bringing our fears, our disappointments, and even our doubts before him. It means allowing ourselves to rest, even when we do not have all the answers. Trust does not always come easily, especially when we have been hurt or let down. But God does not rush us into it. He meets us patiently, allowing trust to grow gently over time. As we begin to rest in him, something within us starts to change. The world around us may remain uncertain, but our inner foundation becomes stronger. We are no longer as easily shaken by what happens around us, because we are anchored in something deeper. This does not mean we become indifferent or unaffected, but that we are held in a way that keeps us from being overwhelmed. And so, when you feel surrounded by uncertainty, when justice feels distant or the future unclear, remember this gentle truth. You have a refuge, not a temporary shelter, but a lasting one. Not a fragile comfort, but a firm foundation. God is your stronghold, and in him you are safe. There is a quiet pain that comes from being unseen, not physically invisible, but overlooked in suffering, unheard in truth, or dismissed in moments that matter most. The psalm speaks of those who are crushed, the widow, the stranger, the fatherless people whose voices are often ignored by the world around them. And yet, within these words, there is a powerful and comforting reminder. Seize, not partially, not occasionally, but fully and continually. What is hidden from others is never hidden from him. It can be difficult to hold on to this truth when injustice feels persistent. When wrong actions go unchallenged and those who suffer receive no acknowledgement, the silence can feel heavy. But God's awareness is not passive. He is not simply observing from a distance. He is deeply attentive, intimately aware of every detail. The one who formed the eye truly sees, and the one who created the heart understands every emotion within it. There is nothing overlooked, nothing dismissed, nothing forgotten. Sometimes, we may wonder if being seen by God is enough. We long for visible justice, for wrongs to be made right in ways we can clearly recognize, and that longing is natural. But the psalm gently shifts our focus not away from justice, but toward trust. God's justice is not absent, it is unfolding. And while it may not always arrive in the timing we expect, it is never incomplete or careless. What God does, he does with perfect understanding. There is also a quiet dignity in being seen by God. Even when others fail to recognize our worth or our pain, his attention restores something within us. It reminds us that our lives matter, that our experiences are not insignificant, and that our voices are heard even in silence. This kind of assurance does not always remove the hurt, but it brings a deep and steady comfort that holds us through it. As we reflect on this, we are also invited to become more aware of others. If God sees the overlooked, then we too are called to see more clearly, to notice those who are quietly struggling, to listen more attentively, and to respond with compassion. In doing so, we reflect the heart of God in a world that often moves too quickly to notice. So if you feel unseen today, take a gentle breath and remember this: you are fully known. Every part of your story, every quiet struggle, every hidden tear, God sees it all. And in his seeing, there is care. In his awareness, there is love. You are not invisible to him, and you never will be. There is a quiet tension that lives within the human heart when justice feels delayed. We know what is right, we long for fairness, and yet we often witness the opposite unfolding before us. In those moments, it can feel as though time itself is stretching, as if answers are being withheld and resolution is just out of reach. Psalm 94 does not ignore this tension, it speaks directly into it. It acknowledges the reality of injustice while gently guiding the heart toward trust, even when the outcome is not yet visible. Trusting God in such seasons is not always easy. It requires us to release our need for immediate answers and to rest in a deeper assurance that God is working beyond what we can see. This does not mean we stop caring about justice, nor does it mean we accept wrongdoing as it is. Rather, it means we entrust the final outcome to a God whose understanding is complete. His perspective is not limited by time, nor is his justice hindered by delay. There is something profoundly humbling in this kind of trust. It reminds us that we do not carry the weight of the world's justice on our own shoulders. While we are called to act with integrity and compassion, we are not responsible for controlling every outcome. That responsibility belongs to God, and in releasing it to him, we find a kind of rest that is both freeing and healing. The psalmist speaks with confidence that God will bring justice in his time. This confidence is not based on visible evidence, but on the character of God himself. He is just, not occasionally, but always. He does not overlook evil, nor does he forget righteousness. Every action, every intention, every hidden truth is fully known to him, and because of this, we can trust that nothing will remain unresolved forever. Waiting, however, is still difficult. It stretches our patience and tests our faith. But within that waiting, something important is taking place. Our trust is being deepened, our dependence on God is being strengthened, and our hearts are being shaped to reflect his peace rather than the unrest around us. This does not happen all at once, but slowly, gently, over time. As we continue to walk through moments where justice feels distant, we are invited to hold on to hope, not a fragile hope based on circumstances, but a steady hope rooted in God's faithfulness. Even when we cannot see the full picture, we can trust that he sees it clearly. Even when we do not understand his timing, we can trust that it is purposeful. So take heart, even in the waiting. What feels unresolved today is not forgotten. What seems delayed is not denied. God is still at work, quietly and faithfully, bringing justice in ways that are right and true. And as you wait, you are not alone. You are held within his care, sustained by his presence, and guided by his unfailing love. There is a deep and lingering question that often rises in the human heart. Will wrong truly be made right? When we witness injustice continuing unchecked, when harmful actions seem to go unanswered, it can feel as though darkness is gaining ground. Psalm 94 speaks directly into this quiet fear, offering not loud certainty, but a steady assurance evil will not have the final word. This truth does not always arrive with immediate evidence, but it rests firmly in the character of God. The psalmist expresses confidence that God will repay wrongdoing, not out of cruelty, but out of justice. This can be difficult to fully embrace, especially when we are called to live with compassion and forgiveness. Yet God's justice is not in conflict with his mercy. It is an extension of his righteousness. He sees clearly, judges fairly, and acts rightly. Nothing escapes his understanding, and nothing is handled carelessly. Where human judgment may falter, God's judgment remains pure. There is a quiet peace that comes from releasing the need for personal vindication. When we carry the weight of needing things to be made right on our own terms, our hearts can become heavy and restless. But when we entrust justice to God, something within us begins to soften. We are no longer driven by the urgency of fixing everything ourselves. Instead, we are invited to rest in the assurance that God is both aware and active, even when we cannot see the full outcome. This does not mean we become passive or indifferent. We are still called to live with integrity, to stand for what is right, and to care for those who are suffering. But we do so with a different posture, not one of anxious striving, but one of quiet trust. We act faithfully, while trusting God with what is beyond our control. This balance allows us to remain engaged without becoming overwhelmed. The promise that evil will not prevail is not just about the future. It also shapes how we live in the present. It gives us courage to continue doing good, even when it feels unnoticed. It strengthens us to remain kind, even when others are not. And it reminds us that every act of righteousness, no matter how small, matters deeply in the eyes of God. As we reflect on this, we are gently invited to let go of fear. The world may feel uncertain and injustice may still exist, but it is not unchallenged. God is not absent and he is not indifferent. His justice is sure, his timing is perfect, and his purposes are good. Even when we do not see the resolution, we can trust that it is coming. So take a quiet breath and rest in this truth. What is wrong will not remain unaddressed. What is hidden will be brought into light, and what feels unfinished will one day be made complete. God is faithful, and his justice will stand. As we come to the end of this gentle reflection, we are invited to rest, not in perfect understanding, but in quiet trust. Life does not always unfold with clear answers, and justice does not always arrive when we expect it. Yet through every moment of uncertainty, one truth remains steady. God is faithful. He sees what we cannot see. He knows what we do not understand, and he holds every detail with perfect care. If your heart has been carrying questions, you are not alone. If you have been waiting for justice, for peace, or for healing, know that your waiting is not unseen. God has been with you in every step, even in the moments that felt silent. His presence has never left you, and his love has never weakened. Let us gently pray together. Lord, thank you for being our refuge and our strength. When our hearts grow tired and our thoughts feel heavy, remind us that you are near. Teach us to trust you more deeply, even when we do not have all the answers. Fill us with your peace, and help us to walk each day with quiet faith. Strengthen those who are weary, comfort those who are hurting, and bring justice where it is needed. Let your light shine in every dark place. As you move forward from here, carry this gentle assurance with you. You are held, you are seen, and you are not alone. If this reflection has brought you even a small sense of peace, you may share it with others who need the same comfort. Amen.